Hi and welcome to CSPM Consulting. I'm Shadi Juma. In our last video, we talked about the different methods of delay analysis and best practices around them. Today, we're going to dive deeper into impacted as planned method. But first, let's quickly recap the key types of delay analysis we touched on. Impacted as planned, time impact analysis, windows analysis, as planned as built, collapsed as built. We'll focus on the first method, impacted as planned, which is often considered the simplest of the group. This method relies heavily on the baseline schedule and is classified as a prospective analysis. What this means is that it's used to evaluate the impact of delays before they actually happen. It helps us predict potential outcomes by analyzing events that might occur based on the original project timeline. The impacted as planned method is typically applied early on in the project life cycle, before or just as delays start to materialize. The idea here is to study these potential delay events and see how they would affect the baseline schedule. So essentially, we take the baseline schedule, the contractual plan for the project, and overlay the delay events to understand how they would impact the timeline. Now, to successfully apply this method, it's essential to have a high-quality baseline schedule, one that is logically sound with proper relationships and dependencies between activities. Once you have this baseline, you can start introducing the delay events and linking them to the corresponding tasks in the schedule. The next step is to analyze the difference between the original completion date, the one in the baseline schedule, and the impacted completion date after considering the delays. The difference between these two dates represents the extended duration of the project, which is the basis for calculating any extension of time entitlements. One of the advantages of the impacted as planned method is its straightforwardness. You simply apply the delays to the baseline schedule and analyze the impact. This method is particularly useful when you don't have updated progress data during the project. For example, if the schedule hasn't been updated with actual progress, this method allows you to evaluate delays based on the original plan, helping you estimate the time extension for specific events. There are also challenges with this method. First, it requires a fully logic-linked baseline schedule to ensure accuracy. Also, this method does not account for concurrency, which refers to multiple delay events happening at the same time. Concurrency is when, for instance, both the client and the contractor have caused overlapping delays. Unfortunately, the impacted as planned method cannot effectively evaluate such overlapping issues. Let's assume a project where no concurrency is involved and the delays are clearly caused by one party. In that case, this method works well to calculate the delay and the impact on the project duration. To summarize, impacted as planned is a useful method for delay analysis when you don't have actual progress data or when you're dealing with a straightforward situation where concurrency is not a factor. However, keep in mind that it doesn't consider changes in logic, resources, or actual progress throughout the project. Now, let's move on to a practical example so you can see this method in action. We will use the sample project we set up in previous video. This project starts with excavation work and continues through to horizontal elements, scheduled from 24th February 2024 to 21st April 2024, with 21st April 2024 as the contractual completion date. Now, let's introduce a new event, a delay in receiving excavation layout approval. We will reflect this delay in the baseline schedule and see how it affects the overall project timeline. In this scenario, the delay caused by the late excavation approval lasted for 14 days, which in turn delayed the start of excavation work. Let's link the delay to the excavation activity in the baseline schedule and examine its impact on the overall project completion date. Let's run the schedule to analyze the impact of this delay. As we look at the Gantt chart, we can see that the excavation delay has pushed the project's original completion date. The project was initially scheduled to finish on 21st April 2024. Let's add the baseline dates for the comparison. But now, after inserting the delay, the completion date has shifted to 6th of May 2024. Let's take a closer look at the impact on the schedule. The contractual completion date was originally set for 21st April 2024, but after accounting for the delay event, the new projected completion date is now 6th of May 2024. You can clearly see the slippage between the baseline schedule and the impacted schedule, represented visually by the difference between the yellow and red bars on the Gantt chart. This delay has resulted in an extension of 15 calendar days, from 21st April 2024 to 6th of May 2024. Total of 15 days of extended duration. Thank you very much for following along. See you next time.